Hi friends, this is Bilal Heather and this is the 21st video part about Unity 3D C# programming, and in this video part we are going to talk about start making our games. Okay, so in this video part I am actually going to teach you about how you move your characters in your game, um, and based on user inputs. Okay, so let's say if a user is playing on his computer, then if that user um, if that user presses the forward, the up arrow or the W key on his keyboard, our character should start moving forward. Okay, and that's what we will be trying to do in this video part. Okay, and for that I have created this basic setup here where I have created a new scene here, and I have main camera, directional light, and two game objects. One is plane, which I have created by going to 3D objects and selecting plane, and also there is a sphere which I have created by going to 3D objects and sphere. And I have actually attached some materials to them. How I attach them? I simply got these two pictures. First one is this background picture and the other one is this bacteria type of image. Okay, what I have done, I selected them, I dragged them inside my Unity and dropped them here. Okay, so once I have dropped them here, I have I have dragged these images from my project window here to my scene window here on top of my plane. That's how it created this folder for me, which is called materials. I didn't create it, but the Unity did that by itself for me. Okay, so it created a material for me, and that is automatically applied to my plane, which you can see here. And then I dragged this image, which is bacteria, and I dragged it on top of my sphere, and it has created another material for me, and it then applied to my game object. Okay, so what we will be doing in this video part, we will be trying to move this character onto this plane. Okay, we want to move this character on this plane, and for that we need to go ahead and write some script for that, and that's what we'll be doing here. So let's go ahead and on right click and create a C# script, and let's call it um, let's move, and let's attach it to our game object which we want to move. Okay, so let's attach it here and double click it, and it will open in our mono develop software. Okay, so let's write some conditions here. um, if input, actually I have to close this window here, and I have to open it again because for some reason it is not showing me the IntelliSense, that options of auto filling or or helping in our coding. Okay, so now we don't have any errors on this side. We will be writing our code now. So let's write if um, input dot get key code dot w. If it's true, then we'll use transform dot translate vector 3 dot forward times time dot delta time. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this line just now. So what we have done here, we are using because this script is attached to our game object which we want to move, we can use transform component of this game object by just writing transform, and it will work just fine. Or you can also do this game object dot um, game object dot transform dot translate. This and this is same thing. Okay, so we'll keep it simple and reduce our code. And we already discussed about transform component, and we already know that this is the function which handles the position, rotation, and the scaling of a game object. But this transform component does not only do that. Okay, it does not only give access to its values to us, but it has several other functions or methods that we can use to manipulate those things. Okay, like the position of the game object, like the rotation of the game object, and like the scaling of the game object. Okay, and this function, which is called translate, is used to translate or move a game object in a certain direction. Okay, so we already know that we have this vector 3 to forward, which is actually 0 0 and 1. And we already discussed that if we will keep adding this vector in itself, and if we will apply that very vector's new value, like let's say if we added 0 0 1 and we added another 0 0 1 in it, then it will become 0 0 2. And if we then apply this new value to our game object's position, that will and we apply that position to our game object, then our game object will move 1 unit forward. Okay, but this transform method actually helps us in doing that. It does all those calculations behind the scene. Okay, so you only have to write transform.translate and provide it a vector. Okay, provide it a vector, and it will keep adding that vector in itself, and you will be moving forward or backwards based on what vector you provide it as an argument. Okay, so for in this particular case we are giving it a vector 3 the forward, so it will move our game object forward. Okay, and what is this time dot delta time? Time dot delta time is actually when we are running game on our PC or on our mobile phone, it is actually rendered frame by frame. Okay, sometimes there are 30 frames per second, sometimes there are 60 frames per second, and this is not a constant value. Okay, so if we will do and we already know that update function runs on every frame and once per frame. So if you are running your game on a PC where your FPS or frame per second is lower value, and and if you're playing your game on a PC where you have a higher FPS value, then our game will perform differently if we don't use time.delta time. What time.delta time is? It is the time, the millisecond time, which has passed since the last frame was rendered. Okay, so what we do, we actually multiply it by that value, that minimal value, and it reduces our performance. I mean, it will not perform differently on different FPS values. Like it will perform the same way it is performing on a PC or it is performing on a mobile phone, where FPS values are different. Okay, so this helps us to smooth our vectors. Okay, let's go ahead and create another. Let's do an else if condition here, and let's do input dot get key code dot um, s, and if S key is pressed, we want to move our character backwards. Okay, so here we'll use vector 3 dot back, just like that. Now let's save our script, and let's test it if it works or not. Let's turn this option on, which is maximize on play, so when we will play that game it should maximize our window. Okay, so let's hit W. Okay, that's cool. So our character is moving forward, and notice that if when we are using get key, and if you will keep pressing your key, your character will keep moving forward. Okay, so and let's test the back key. Okay, here I'm pressing it like I'm hitting it one time, two time, and you will notice that our character is moving one unit forward if we hit our key once. Okay, you can see that if we keep pressing, I mean if we press our key and um, don't release it, it will keep moving forward smoothly, just like that. Okay, so now we have created a very simple game in which we have only a plane, and a light and a camera, and we can actually play with it. we have this game and we are playing with it. We are moving our character backwards and forwards. Now let's go ahead and actually add two more else if statements in here for left and right, and then we will test our game once again. So input dot get key code dot um, a, and for this we want to move our character towards the left side. So we'll be using vector3 dot left, and let's copy this once more time, and this time dot d and vector3 dot right. Okay, we saved that script, and now let's play and see if it moves. So let's hit W key. It is moving forward, it is moving backwards, it is moving left, and it is moving towards the right side. How cool is that? We have actually created our very first game here, where we have our character, which is a sphere, and very simple sphere. We just added an image on top of it, and it looks pretty amazing that we can now interact with our game. We are playing that game. So this was pretty much all about this video part. I hope you liked it, and keep watching my videos. Give me thumbs ups, and see you next time. Have fun, take care, and bye bye.